Hi internet people. So first off, I've been dealing with throat issues. Like I have kind of a head cold, sort of laryngitis, I don't know. So this is going to be kind of a quick Riverdale recap. I still want to talk about Riverdale. So we're doing this on a day where my voice feels pretty solid, but I just can't talk too long. So in this episode, Cheryl has been sent away to the Sisters of Quiet Mercy, and it's awful and terrible, and she should not be there, and I'm not okay with it, and I hate her mother. So Cheryl is there. Tony has no idea what's going on, so she's trying to figure out what's happening. Later in the episode, she actually winds up asking Josie and Veronica to help her figure out where Cheryl has gone. So that plot actually gets tied up at the very end. So we see Cheryl at the beginning at what is just the Sisters of Quiet Mercy. We also learn that they run an off-the-books, secret, creepy, weird, someone calls it re-education. It is a gay conversion camp, or situation. They actually asked Kevin about this at a later point, and Kevin, like, knows all about it. He's like, it's off the books. The boys actually, like, there are boys there. He knows there are boys there, in this program. I'll get into that. But that's where Cheryl is. They make her do manual labor. She actually can only, like, think of her friends. Like, she has time to think about things during these movie nights where she sort of imagines people from Riverdale in them instead. So they're, like, watching one about boys, and yeah, and she sees Moose and Kevin in it instead of the actual people in the film. So that's what's happening with Cheryl. On top of that, Nana Rose is all alone in the Blossom house, which is not okay, but we will, there we go. I'm leading with that. We will end with Cheryl too. So it'll be a Cheryl sandwich. Everything else that's happening. So, the car gets found that Betty and Jughead ditched. This is on top of the fact that Betty and Jughead are running as Bughead for, student council. And we also learned that Reggie and Josie are running as Rosie, which is a very cute ship name and works very well for a campaign. They use like a Rosie the Riveter pose. And then Varchie are running together. They're running together, and it's super awkward because he does not support his father's mayoral campaign because he is super connected to the lodges, and I don't like it. So that's happening. We don't really see much of Hermione's campaign right now because Highr'd is dealing with an influx of dudes who want his stuff. So, there are two mob guys who come in and they're like, we want a cut of what you're doing in Riverdale. And, like, basically the prison. And he says no. But they're like, yeah, no, you don't have anybody, so you should give us this cut. It gets very tropey. There's, like, a dinner at an Italian restaurant. Archie tries to be a big dog, does not work. It's very awkward for him. They literally laugh at him, and I'm like, duh, Archie, you are a child. Like, I don't understand how you think you're a big deal right now. You're a tiny child. These men murder people for fun. Not for fun, I'm sure it's for business, but you know, mobsters. You don't screw around with the mob. I point this out every time. You can't casually be in the mob, Archie. That happens, so Highr'd and Archie are like this. And then because of everything that's going on, Veronica and Archie are even closer because they want Archie to take care of Veronica. So that's going on. With the car being discovered, Betty is freaking out, Alice is freaking out, Jughead is freaking out, Chick is a little freaking out. Chick is shady. FP tells him to keep calm, like, it's handled, like, did you wear gloves? Like, going through all this stuff, trying to keep him chill. With this going on, I'm just going to point out that the Serpents aren't really cool with Jughead and Betty running for student council. They don't want to give them the Serpent vote. Sweet Pea actually says it's because of her mother, because Alice is so against the Serpents and she's turned her back on them because she was a Serpent, she was in the group, she was part of the South Side, and she's ignoring them altogether. They don't like her. She also, like, talks crap about them in the paper, which they don't appreciate at all. So there's the thing. With the car found, they then learn that the car was picked up by the actual owner from Kevin. Kevin is like the font of all knowledge all the time. He says, no, the owner picked it up, it was stolen, da-da-da. They then find out from Chick that Darla was the dead guy's girlfriend, and he used to steal her car all the time. And then Chick decides to be helpful. Nothing bad was happening. Everything was handled. He calls Darla. Darla winds up at the Cooper household and is like, I'm here. She wants $10,000 to make her go away. She ain't leaving. She's there. She was gonna leave town. She was on her way out till Chick called her. She's, Chick. Chick. Okay, so that's happening with all of them. So then Alice tells Betty to go get the $10,000. She actually goes to the bank and gets the money. There's apparently a joint account with Hal that she can get. While this has been going on, Betty has not been staying at the house. Alice is super upset about this. She's like, you're living in sin. I don't know if I think she does say living in sin. She's not okay with it. She's like, how can you be okay with this? And FP's like, I'm not okay with that, but I'm sleeping on a couch with my own son, so your daughter can have my bedroom, so they're not in the same place. Like, he's trying to be a good guy. He's trying to make it work and not be like, yeah, our kids are shacking up. No, he's trying to be a good dad as best he can. So that's happening. When Betty goes to come back, Alice tells her that the dude from the hotel has showed up and he and Darla are like threatening them. Alice says, don't come home, don't come home. With all of this going on, Archie and Reggie have been fighting over the vote for the Bulldogs because that's super important. I'm so annoyed at Archie right now. Archie gets it in an arm wrestling competition. Real good work, everyone. But he gets the votes now. And then they have a later discussion because Archie blows off his own father's mayoral announcement that Jughead helped Fred prepare. Yeah. Yeah. Jughead's been more there for Fred than Archie right now. Archie's mom is pissed about this fact that Archie is not around. Then we find out that Archie missed it because he was working with Reggie to set up a plan to get back at the mobsters by blowing up their frickin' car. It's a terrible decision. He and all the football players show up in black hoods because former capo Adams, the FBI guy, flipped on the lodges and now he like just beat up Ambrose, and while wearing a black hood, he calls him with a black circle. It's so Arch. So he has them, they blow up this car, tell the mobsters, like, to protect, whatever. It's not good, mind you. And then Highr'd buys him a freaking car. It's this whole situation. I'm just like, you can't casually be in the mob, Archie. He's also, like, hung his own father out to dry, which I'm not okay with. I'm like, Fred is a super supportive dad. He's a great guy, and you're just ignoring the fact that he exists. Like, you're blowing him off for Highr'd, and I don't like it at all. So that's Archie's plot. It's just me being frustrated with Archie for making terrible decisions and getting more entrenched with the mob than he should be because it's never a good idea to casually join the mob. So that's happening. The situation with the car gets handled because when Betty is in trouble, Betty calls the serpents. Jughead kicks down the door, brings in the serpents get them the heck out of the Cooper household. Everything is handled on that end. And then Alice issues an apology to all of the serpents and says that she should be proud of who she is and like where she came from. It's a huge thing, which is really awesome. It really is. Like, it is great. And then we see Alice and FP together. And so I don't know if they're like rekindling their former romance, which will be odd because their kids are dating and I feel like you can't date when your kids date. I don't know. I don't have children. I just feel like that would be awkward. Betty did also try and get a serpent tattoo, and now I'm wondering if she's just gonna show up and she'll have like a little tiny serpent tattoo like hidden on her person. She did. She wanted permission to go get one. So that happened. Chick is also out. Alice was like, you are gone. Get out of this house. So he's done. Wondering if he'll be back, but who knows. So I feel like those are main plots. Those are definitely main plots. So back to Cheryl. So after recruiting Veronica and Josie, they go to talk to Mama Blossom, who still says that she has sent Cheryl away because she was a danger to herself and others, and shows Josie the sketch of Cheryl and Josie together. And that's when Josie realizes that Cheryl is the one who was threatening her around Halloween during the episode with the short stories and where Josie lost her voice. Haha, great. It's a connection between me and my terrible voice. It's okay right now. I just am a little worried it's gonna cut out soon. So she doesn't want to help anymore, but Betty is still on board. And then they figure out, they like don't know anything. They don't know where Cheryl is because the Mama Blossom keeps insisting that she's not there. She's not in the country. She's away. And apparently an all-girl boarding school that Veronica has heard of. And so then while they're at school, there's all of a sudden a call for Antoinette Topaz to come to the principal's office. I did not know Tony's full name was Antoinette. I love it, but I did not know that. She gets there, she answers the phone. Nana Blossom has pushed herself out of her wheelchair, arm crawled to the phone, and called Tony at the school to tell her where Cheryl is, because Nana Blossom is the VIP of this episode and deserves a medal, an award, a parade, and everything. But all she can get out is she's with the sisters, and then we see her terrible uncle has pulled the phone line, and I'm very worried for Nana Blossom now. I really am. I was already worried. I'm super worried now. Tony doesn't know what that means. They wind up figuring out that it's the Sisters of Quiet Mercy, her and Veronica. They ask Kevin. Turns out there's a way to sneak in and out of the Sisters of Quiet Mercy that the boys use to get to Foxwoods to hang out. Slash hook up with great guys like Kevin. I actually think he says to hook up with great guys like me or something along those lines. So they're gonna sneak in. Veronica's outfit is a terrible sneaking around outfit. It's like if you took, this is gonna get real comic booky, if you took Catwoman's outfit and mixed it with Power Girls, that's what you got. She had a boob window, and I'm not sure how that was productive for her. She has to run later, and I literally was like, that's not a good running outfit. That is not, you're gonna fall out. You are gonna fall out, and then the nuns are gonna be real upset for a number of other reasons. Tony's outfit is a little more subdued, and better for running, a little bit. But they sneak in with Kevin's help. He stands guard when they get in. Cheryl is in movie night. They're trying to find her. She has just had to lug a bunch of like grain bags or cement bags, I don't even know, from one wall to another multiple times in the basement. Instead of being quiet about this, Tony literally runs through the building screaming, Cheryl, 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 Cheryl. She finds her in the movie room, and then chony kiss. It's so cute. It's so romantic. It's in front of the projector. Like, it's really pretty. It's pretty cute. That happens, and then they have to run. So they're running. They're being chased by nuns. They run holding hands. They get out. They flee. Then Cheryl gets back to school. Still very coupley. But she's going to get back at her mom and uncle hardcore. And then we find out that she wants to be the lead in Carrie the Musical, which Kevin is directing, which is happening on April 18th. So I'm very excited for the musical. I'm also very glad we have a bit of a break because I actually will not be able to watch. I wasn't going to be able to watch Riverdale next week because I will be at a convention doing press coverage for the website that I write for, the Nerdy Girl Express. So there is no way I could also watch Riverdale. But now this is great. I can wait and watch things on the 18th. And my video will be up the 20th, presumably. But I'm very excited. I'm so excited Cheryl is okay and she's back. I was very worried about how this plot would go. Because I was like, please don't make this really, really bad. Because conversion therapy is no joke. Like, those things still exist. They're terrible. That I can't even imagine. But I was very worried with how this would go. But this was a very, like, tailored down, very, like, she just did a lot of manual labor. So at least it was very okay-ish. It didn't kill me to see Cheryl do manual labor, and she was okay, and she got out within an episode. I was really worried they'd drag it out a while, and I was not okay with that, but I am curious to see how Carrie the Musical goes when it gets here. Let me know your thoughts about this episode in the comments below, or over on Twitter. Are you getting as irritated with Archie as me? I feel like I'm constantly irritated at Archie. I'm sorry, Archie, except I'm not. He just drives me crazy. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, comments, or Twitter. I'm at Cliff Notes. You can find me on my blog, cliffnotes.wordpress.com. I write for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com, and or on their Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP. Bye, internet people.